So cute. Yvonne Schalle joins us now. Good morning. That is such a great idea.
Great idea, great cause. Everything works out really well. So yeah, that's nice.
How's it looking this weekend?
A little bit unsettled today. So we are going to be tracking some instability. Even the risk of a thunderstorm is going to extend across the lower mainland. I'll show you that in just a moment. We're currently sitting at 16 degrees this morning. We've got a northerly wind at 6 kilometers per hour, so very light this morning. Temperatures in Osoyoos starting off at 15, similar for Kamloops. Good morning into Prince George. Your current temperature at 7 degrees, and Prince Rupert with the temperature sitting at 13. For us, 22, away from the water, 25. That humidex will feel like 29. It'll still be warm, hazy for the day today. A look back at our records, 28 degrees, and that was set back in 2022. Here's the instability. We've got a few lightning strikes that are popping up and a cell that is going to move in most areas across the island, lower mainland, Sunshine Coast, and extending in towards Whistler. We'll be looking at the potential risk of thunderstorms, and this will pick up through the day and continue in towards the early evening. We've also got a special weather statement, those with respiratory issues. This extends in towards the Chilcotin, Prince George. Anybody with respiratory issues will want to try and limit the amount of time spent outdoors impacted by the smoke across these areas over the next 24 and up to 48 hours, and the smoke also locally into the northeastern corners of the province. So instability for us along the coast, extending even along the central coast. Temperatures in towards the interior today, we're into the low 30s, but it is going to be a hot one for tomorrow, easing off a mainly sunny sky for Labor Day, and even hotter. Planning ahead for back to work and school both Tuesday and Thursday, or Tuesday through Thursday rather, so we'll see some of the hottest temperatures on Wednesday, away from the water up to 30 degrees. Angela?
Good to plan ahead. Thank you, Yvonne.
Feels like yesterday.
Yes. Time goes by quickly when you're having fun, and we're going to have fun this morning. How is the weather looking this long weekend?
I've got some breaks out there, but a bit unsettled as we get in through the afternoon. We could see the chance for a few isolated showers and a slight risk of a thunderstorm. So that'll be the big weather story that we follow today, and then a much calmer day as we round off the long weekend, and that'll be for tomorrow. Here's what we're tracking. So we can see that few cells right now just along the western edge of the island. That'll extend right along the lower mainland and extending in towards Whistler as well. We've also got an air quality advisory. Prince George, the Chilcotin included within that. Those with respiratory issues will want to try and limit the amount of time spent outdoors over the next 24 and up to 48 hours. We're also seeing some local smoke for the northeastern corners. Fort St. John today hot, up to 29 degrees, and inland along the north coast even pushing into the upper 20s. Across the central interior, much calmer day today, mix of sun and cloud. Much of the southern interior, we'll see some sunshine in the mix. We'll be into the low 30s, but it's the risk of thunderstorms that'll be mainly across the south coast. Temperatures today for Whistler will be up to 27, and across the island a bit of a range if you're by the water. A few degrees cooler. Victoria today topping out at 23, and inland for Port Alberni 28 degrees. Also seeing that risk of thunderstorms that'll extend right along the Sunshine Coast. For us across the lower mainland, chance for some showers. Risk of a thunderstorm will be for the afternoon and continuing in towards the early evening. Temperatures today away from the water 25 with the humidex 29. Tomorrow sunny and dry, and back to school we are going to see sunny skies and warming up. Wanted to show the temperature trend. Oops, that's not the temperature trend. It'll be there somewhere, but wanted to show the temperature trend where we are seeing those temperatures on Wednesday away from the water up to 30 degrees. Angela?
Thank you, Yvonne. Welcome back. Yvonne joins us now. Yvonne, who do you have behind you there?
Not one, but two. This is Lucy on the left and Sophie on the right, and this was taken by Lori in Surrey, so thanks so much for sending that in for our dog walking forecast. A bit of a blip today, unsettled. We could see a few isolated showers. Even the risk of a thunderstorm will pop up across the region. That'll even extend in towards the island. And temperatures today, 22 away from the water, 25, but with the humidex, that 25 is going to feel closer to 29 degrees as we get in towards this early evening hour. We're also still seeing the potential and the risk. Right now we're tracking a cell that's just along the western edge of the island, and we'll be watching that very closely. That'll start to pick up for us across the lower mainland, and a few spots in towards the interior could see a slight chance for some showers. Smoky skies bulletin, those with respiratory issues. This includes the Chilcotin, Caribou, as well as Prince George. You'll want to try and limit the amount of time spent outdoors over the next 24 and up to 48 hours. We're seeing some local smoke across that area, and also some local smoke for the northeastern corners, and that extends in towards the the Peace. Along the coast today, 18, but you'll see that range in temperatures inland, Smithers up to 28 degrees. Upper 20s for Prince George today and pushing closer to 30 degrees. Much of the southern half of the province, it's warm today, but it'll even be hotter as we get in towards our long-range forecast. Some of the warmest temperatures moving in for Tuesday, Wednesday. Across the island, right along the Sunshine Coast and inland, that instability, risk of thunderstorms. Much of the lower mainland today, so we are going to see a few breaks in there, isolated showers and the risk of thunderstorms. Highs for tomorrow, Labor Day, as we round off the long weekend, 23, humidex 29. It is hot, though, in the long range. I also wanted to show the temperature trend. As we get in towards our Wednesday, away from the water, we'll see some of those temperatures closer to 30 degrees. Jay, it's going to be hot still in the coming days.
All right. Thank you, Yvonne.
You bet.
Yvonne Schalle joins us now with the forecast. Good morning, Yvonne.
Good morning, Angela. A bit of a grayer start out there, depending on where you are. We are seeing some bright spots as well, but the weather story that we're following through the day today will be some instability and even the risk of thunderstorms. Temperature-wise, 22 away from the water, 25 with the humidex. That 25 will feel like 29 degrees. Our average sits at 20 and a record on this day. When we take a look back, 28 was set back in 2022. The instability is right now along the western edge of the island. We've seen a few lightning strikes pop up, and that's going to move in for all areas for us along the coast. We are going to see that potential risk of thunderstorms moving in through the afternoon and continuing in towards the early evening hours, and then a much drier day as we get in towards tomorrow and we round off the long weekend. We do have an air quality statement for the Colton, Caribou and Prince George areas. If you do have respiratory issues, try and limit the amount of time spent outdoors. Will be impacted by the smoke over the next 24 and up to 48 hours. The coast today for the northern half, 18. Dry conditions, some local smoke for the northeastern corners, and hot for the Peace today up to 29. Much of the central southern half of the province with a mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures into the low 30s for the Thompson, Okanagan. That risk of thunderstorms will extend in towards Merritt, Whistler, right along the Sunshine Coast, eastern areas and inland across the island and down towards the south near Victoria. Now for the west, Tofino, also mainly cloudy, risk of thunderstorms, chance for some showers across the lower mainland. So we are going to see a bit of a blip in the forecast for today. Be prepared, though, slight risk of a thunderstorm. It'll dry out for tomorrow and warm up 23 degrees. Humidex feels like 29 and very warm for back to work and school on Wednesday. Temperatures away from the water up to 30 degrees. Good morning. Over to you, Barbara, with the check on the roads.
Speck of sunshine, just beautiful. Good morning, Yvonne. Yvonne, how is the forecast looking like for this week?
A little bit unsettled just for today, so plan ahead. We could see a few isolated showers, even the risk of a thunderstorm, and then it is really going to clear out and brighten up to round off for Labor Day, and then even in the long-range forecast, temperatures are really going to start to heat up once again. So the plan for the day today, it's really away from the water, 25 with that humidex. It's going to feel closer to 29 degrees, but it's the potential and the risk of thunderstorms. I've already spotted a few lightning strikes just along the western regions of the island for areas near Tofino, and that's really going to start to pick up afternoon, early evening. We'll even see that along the south coast. So there is some instability, and then a break is on the way. Ridge will start to build and strengthen. Now, we do have a special weather statement, air quality for the Colton, Caribou and Prince George, and those with respiratory issues will want to try and limit the amount of time spent outdoors. We're impacted by the smoke over the next 24 and up to 48 hours. Latest fire danger rating, a reminder, we're sitting at high in a few spots now at extreme that extends into the northeastern corners, so please be very diligent as you're enjoying the outdoors. Along the coast today, range in temperatures 18 inland up to 28 degrees. Some local smoke for areas near the Peace. Much of the central southern half of the province, we're warming up, but it'll get even hotter in a long-range forecast. Risk of thunderstorms, Merritt, Whistler, and right across the island. Inland, Port Alberni, Victoria included within that. Lower mainland, we are looking at temperatures today, 22, 25 with the humidex 29. Tomorrow with a mainly sunny sky, and then hot for back to work and school. On Wednesday, we'll see that temperature away from the water up to 30 degrees with some of the hottest temperatures if you're planning ahead Tuesday through our Thursday so far. All right, Angela, over to you.
Thank you, Yvonne. And the fair are ending.
Okay, but there's still 2 more days. Today and tomorrow, if you want to go to the P&E, maybe get a little cotton candy on the side, too. You never know.
Yes.
You never know.
Maybe they'll make me make some.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. Thanks, Angela. Good morning, everyone. We are seeing a bit of a blip in the forecast for today. Slight chance for some showers. Even the risk of a thunderstorm will be in the mix, and that'll take us in towards the early evening hours, so plan ahead. Temperatures today, though, still warming up. It'll be hot and hazy. 25 away from the water up to 29 degrees. degrees, or with the humidex, it's going to be feeling closer to 29 rather. And we are going to see more breaks on the way and a brighter day as we get in towards tomorrow and round off the long weekend. The instability that we are seeing is across the island this morning. I've tracked a few lightning strikes. That'll pick up. All areas along the south coast will be impacted by that thunderstorm risk. Now, we are seeing a smoky skies bulletin, the Colton, Caribou, as well as Prince George. So those with respiratory issues will want to try and limit the amount of time spent outdoors. Along the coast, we're up to 18 degrees. Inland, up to 28. We are seeing some local smoke for the northeastern corners. Central, southern half of the province. Temperatures today warming up, but even hotter into early next week. Areas across the island will see that range in temperatures. Areas by the water near Victoria, 23, but Port Alberni closer to 28 degrees. So across the lower mainland today, risk of a thunderstorm for the afternoon, continuing in towards the early evening hours. It'll ease off for tomorrow. We're back into some sunshine and then back to work and school. It's going to be a hot one of the hottest days so far on Wednesday, 25 away from the water, up to 30 degrees. Angela, over to you.
Thank you, Yvonne. Our doggy companions want to know, what's the forecast looking like, Yvonne?
A bit unsettled today. This is Pedro, a 1-year-old rescue, and this that lives in Kelowna. This is sent in from Heather, so thank you so much. Great shot there, but yeah, a little bit unsettled. We could see a few isolated showers. Even the risk of a thunderstorm will be in the mix for us across the lower mainland, extending in towards the island as well. And for temperatures today, hot and hazy, 22 away from the water, 25 with the humidex. It's going to feel like 29. So that's planned through the day today, unsettled in towards the early evening hours, and then we're rebounding. We're back into some sunshine. It's going to be beautiful as we round off the long weekend. Bit of instability also across the island rather. We're seeing it in towards Whistler. Merritt will be included within that. We've also got a smoky skies bulletin. The following areas, Colton, Caribou, as well as Prince George, impacted by smoke over the next 24 and up to 48 hours. And those with respiratory issues will want to try and limit the amount of time spent outdoors. Hot and dry conditions. It's even hotter in the coming days. A reminder, our fire danger rating now has bumped up. The northeastern corners, a few spots sitting at extreme, and much of the province we're sitting at moderate to high. So please be very diligent as you're enjoying the outdoors. Temperatures along the coast, 18. We're tracking some local smoke for the peace and warming up to 29 degrees. Much of the central half of the province today, it'll be the smoke with the heat, and the southern half will also see some of those temperatures warming up. Whistler, 27 is the high. Areas near Port Alberni up to 28. Victoria, thunderstorm risk, and 23 in all areas across the lower mainland. So it'll pop up through the day, the afternoon and early evening, giving us that thunderstorm risk. Tomorrow it'll ease off, 23, humidex 29, and back to school and back to work forecast for many on Tuesday. A hot one and even hotter so far on our Wednesday. A range in temperatures between 25 away from the water up to 30 degrees. Allison? Oh, Angela, sorry.
No problem.
I don't know where I had that. Sorry about that.
Long day.
Yeah.
Thanks, Yvonne. Ready to take a look back now. Drake and his co-stars of Degrassi are going back on the show, and they're part of an upcoming documentary. Take a look.
She had to be one of my first kisses for sure. Damn, I never thought about it like that.
The trailer for Degrassi, Whatever It Takes, shows Drake recalling his time in high school and having his first kiss on the show with Lauren Collins. Series alum Marianne McDonald and Shane Kippel are also going to be featured. The documentary celebrating the iconic Canadian teen drama, premiering at the Toronto Film Fest on September 13th. And look at that, it's all standard def too.
Different times?
Yes.
Different times.
Oh, and as now people going back to school, just thinking about all that.
Yeah, lots of nostalgia. Totally.
How's the weather looking?
Temperature's going to be a bit unsettled today. Risk of a thunderstorm may pop up, and then Monday, sorry, I'm getting my days swapped there, but Monday and taking us in towards our Tuesday for back to work and school. It's going to be very hot, so plan ahead.
And in sports, Jay.
Well, we'll see what happens at the U.S. Open today, and the BC Lions will get back on the field tomorrow, as will the Vancouver Whitecaps. Still another week and change until the Whitecaps will play a match then.
Thank you so much for spending part of your long weekend with us. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.
Good afternoon. Hot and hazy. We're also seeing unsettled conditions with the risk of a thunderstorm. That coming up in just a moment. Temperatures are sitting into the low 20s, and we've got a northwesterly wind starting to pick up anywhere between 20 and up to 30 kilometers per hour. That 22 away from the water, 25 with the humidex. It's going to feel like 29 degrees. The average for this time of the year, 20 in a record when we take a look back, 28 degrees, and that was set back in 2022. A very happy anniversary, this one going out to Dick and Betty Davis from Abbotsford, celebrating 75 years. Congratulations and a happy anniversary to you both. All right.
And now let's bring in meteorologist Yvonne Schalle with a check of your forecast. Yvonne.
Thanks so much, Alyssa. It's been unsettled today, but a different weather story as we look ahead towards tomorrow and round off the long weekend. We'll be back into some sunshine, a warm one, 23 degrees. With the humidex, though, it's going to be feeling closer to 25. We are going to see a bit of instability pop up for the interior. The southern half tomorrow could see a few isolated showers, but most areas along the coast, a much calmer day for tomorrow. And a ridge of high pressure is going to build and strengthen, and it is going to be very hot for a back to work and school forecast. The latest on the fire danger rating, we're sitting at moderate to high for many areas across the province, so please be very diligent as you're enjoying the outdoors. Now, along the coast for tomorrow, we're up to 19 degrees, areas inland up to 30. We've got widespread smoke for the Peace, and areas across the central interior will be impacted by the smoke over the next 24 and up to 48 hours. Southern half of the province, we're starting to see the heat near Kamloops up to 36 degrees, local smoke near Whistler topping out at 28. A few degrees cooler if you're by the water near Victoria, and inland for Port Alberni, we'll see those highs reaching 28 degrees. For us across the lower mainland, very pleasant for our Labor Day. We'll see those temperatures, so what the feels like rather will be closer to 29 degrees. On Tuesday, for back to work and school, a hot one, and even hotter for our Wednesday so far. That'll likely be the peak of the heat, but plan ahead. So away from the water, we'll get closer to 30 degrees on Wednesday, and areas in towards the interior, we'll see those temperatures mid and upper 30s, and the heat will likely continue in towards Friday. Bit of a change on the way for our Saturday so far. Alyssa?
Yeah, still very warm. All right, thank you, Yvonne.